Imagine a world where the very act of staying alive has been reclassified as a crime. The year is 2026, and modern humanity rests blindly on a fragile, vibrating grid of digital reliance, sterile supermarkets, and crushing bureaucratic oversight. When the pioneers of the 1880s Nevada Territory struck out into the blistering expanse, survival was not a choice. It was a daily, brutal negotiation with death. The cowboy and the homesteader did not ask a magistrate for permission to exist. They forged their lives from the dust and the blood of the land, echoing the primal, unyielding tactics of Paleolithic hunters, the discipline of Roman legions, and the sheer grit of Spartan warriors. Today, the contemporary establishment finds that ancient brand of self-reliance utterly terrifying. The modern world is built on permits, zoning laws, and a mandate of total dependency. To live exactly as the pioneers did, to sever the cord from the corporate apparatus and step back into the ancient ways of human resilience, is to invite steep fines, property confiscation, and even incarceration. The system demands compliance. The frontier demands ingenuity. Witness the 25 forbidden tricks of the American frontier. These are the ancient, battle-tested methods of survival that have been methodically outlawed by modern legislation. This is the forgotten blueprint of human resilience, designed to keep a soul alive when the law is distant, the grid collapses, and the water finally runs dry. Number 25, rainwater catchment. The ancient Romans engineered sprawling, monumental aqueducts to capture and redirect the sky's bounty, a practice perfectly mirrored by the frontier homesteader's humble rain barrel. Capturing the rain was the fundamental difference between a thriving crop and starvation in the arid West. Today, however, catching the rain that falls upon a private roof is heavily regulated, monitored, or outright illegal in certain Western states under archaic, prior appropriation laws. The natural cycle of water, a divine right recognized by every ancient civilization from the Babylonians to the Incas, has been completely monopolized by the state. To harvest the sky without a permit is to steal from the government. Number 24, unlicensed raw milk. Long before the pasteurization mandates of modern health departments, cowboys on the trail and ancient Celtic tribes in the highlands alike relied on raw, unpasteurized dairy. For the chariot-riding warriors of antiquity, living, enzyme-rich milk was a source of deep vitality, immune strength, and raw caloric power. Today, the modern legal apparatus views this ancient superfood as a biohazard. Distributing raw milk across state lines is a federal offense, often resulting in armed raids on peaceful farms. Selling it locally requires navigating a labyrinth of bureaucratic suppression designed to protect the massive, sterilized dairy conglomerates from independent homesteaders. Number 23, the ghost fire technique. Frontier scouts traversing hostile territories mastered the art of building smokeless fires in concealed Dakota holes to avoid detection. This subterranean fire technique was inherited directly from ancient Germanic warriors, hiding in the deep forests from advancing Roman legions. Constructing such a stealth, off-grid fire pit in the year 2026 violates strict municipal burn bans, homeowner association mandates, and environmental wood stove emission regulations. The modern citizen is punished for attempting to generate heat or cook a meal without relying on the corporate energy grid or a metered natural gas line. Number 22, unpermitted earth structures. The pioneer soddy, built entirely from thick prairie grass and compacted dirt, kept early settlers perfectly insulated from the lethal sub-zero blizzards of the Great Plains. This architectural ingenuity echoes the ancient Mesopotamian mastery of mud brick ziggurats and the subterranean dwellings of ancient Anatolia. However, attempting to construct a home from the earth today is an immediate criminal offense in the eyes of county code enforcement. Without a licensed engineer, a costly concrete foundation, and heavily taxed blueprints, an earth-sheltered home will face immediate condemnation and bulldozing by the authorities. Number 21. Nose-to-tail butchery. When a calf fell on the grueling cattle drives of the 1800s, the chuckwagon cook utilized the heart, liver, brains, and marrow gut to brew the legendary son-of-a-gun stew. This absolute zero-waste protocol mirrors the deep reverence Paleolithic hunter-gatherers held for the kill, ensuring no usable tissue was wasted. In the sterile landscape of 2026, executing open-air butchery and selling the nutrient-dense offal to neighbors is a severe criminal act. The modern food system demands government inspectors, synthetic chemical washes, and million-dollar sterile facilities, effectively outlawing the ancient, localized butcher. Number 20. Harvesting wild yeast. Frontier cooks carried living sourdough cultures in heavy ceramic crocks, sometimes sleeping with them under heavy blankets to keep the yeast alive through freezing nights. This mimics the exact practices of the master bakers of ancient Egypt, who built an empire on wild fermentation. Today, harnessing untamed, unregulated microbes from the air to bake bread for community sale violates a suffocating web of cottage food laws. Bureaucrats demand sterile, commercial-grade stainless steel kitchens, ensuring that the ancient art of wild, communal baking remains heavily policed. Number 19. Composting human waste. Pioneers utilized outhouses and carefully composted waste to regenerate the harsh, depleted soil of their homesteads. This closed-loop biological practice dates back to the very dawn of the agricultural revolution in the Fertile Crescent, where human existence enriched the earth rather than polluting it. Modern health departments entirely forbid this ancient alchemy. The law mandates expensive, chemically treated septic systems or forced municipal sewer connections. Closing the biological loop naturally is strictly outlawed, framing human existence as a perpetual biohazard that must be managed by the state. Number 18. Off-grid medicine from the dirt. When formerly trained doctors were hundreds of miles away, frontiersmen and outlaws treated gunshot wounds and deep lacerations with poultices of river mud, raw honey, and wild yarrow. This exact methodology mirrors the battlefield herbalism of ancient Greece, where Spartan physicians relied on the earth to heal the flesh. Treating a serious infection today with wild-foraged, unapproved frontier medicine outside the pharmaceutical monopoly invites immediate legal devastation. Healing a community member with the ancient wisdom of the forest can easily result in felony charges of practicing medicine without a license. Number 17. Front yard foraging. Cowboys crossing the plains gathered wild chickweed and Alexander plants to stave off scurvy and malnutrition, utilizing the exact same foraging instincts as the ancient Druids of the British Isles. In the modern American suburb, the earth has been sterilized. Cultivating an untamed, edible food forest instead of a chemically treated, perfectly manicured grass lawn triggers thousands of dollars in homeowner association fines and local ordinance violations. The law dictates that land must be ornamental, not life-sustaining. Number 16. Open-air meat. Curing. Pemmican and heavily salted jerky kept men alive for months in the wilderness without refrigeration. This suppressed survival food was perfected by indigenous tribes and mirrored the exact rations of the ancient nomadic horsemen of the Asian steppe who conquered continents. Curing meat in the open sun and wind for commercial trade is now heavily criminalized. Modern health codes are deeply obsessed with continuous mechanical refrigeration, rendering the ancient, grid-free preservation techniques completely illegal for public commerce. Number 15, graywater crop irrigation. Frontier families surviving in the high desert routinely poured their soapy wash water directly over their thirsty vegetable gardens. This micro-scale water diversion was a direct reflection of the ancient Babylonian irrigation canals that turned deserts into blooming empires. Today, diverting gray water from a modern sink directly into the soil without an approved, heavily permitted, and expensive filtration system violates strict plumbing codes. These laws are expressly designed to maintain complete municipal water dependency and prevent true household autonomy. Number 14, untaxed bartering. Trading a heavy sack of winter potatoes for a blacksmith's horseshoe was the absolute backbone of frontier commerce. This untraceable exchange of pure value echoes the silent trades of the ancient Silk Road, where goods spoke louder than imperial coins. Today, relying on bartered goods and services to survive is viewed with extreme suspicion by federal taxation bureaus. The system demands a cut of every human transaction in fiat currency, and failing to report the value of a traded chicken or repaired fence is classified as tax evasion. Number 13, distilling survival alcohol. When cholera struck the camps, cowboys and pioneers distilled raw grain into high-proof alcohol for vital sanitation, sterilization, and pain relief. This echoes the ancient alchemical distillation practiced in early empires from Alexandria to the Ming Dynasty. Operating a private still for any purpose today, even strictly for survival fuel or medicinal tinctures, brings the immediate militarized wrath of federal bureaus. The distillation of nature's sugars remains one of the most heavily policed and severely punished felonies a homesteader can commit. Number 12, sleeping in a canvas yurt. When a pioneer first staked a land claim, a thick canvas tent served as a perfectly viable home for months or even years while the cabin was built. The ancient Mongolian nomads used similar structures, yurts, to comfortably survive the harshest winters on Earth. Yet attempting to live full-time in a high-quality tent, yurt, or tiny shelter on privately owned land today violates aggressive minimum square footage mandates. Local zoning laws exist to enforce property tax minimums, criminalizing a minimalist, ancient way of living. Number 11, the silent sentry trap. Deep in the Appalachians, early frontiersmen secured their perimeters and caught wild game using high-tension saplings and natural cordage. This mirrors the ancient hunter-gatherer defense mechanisms used in the dense forests of Neolithic Europe. Setting such primitive, non-commercial traps today to secure a food source violates a dense thicket of game commissions, modern hunting laws, and cruelty statutes. The ability to harvest wild protein using only the materials of the forest has been effectively legislated out of existence. Number 10, boiling marrow-bone cauldrons. Long before modern supplements, the original frontier superfood was marrow-bone soup, boiled continuously for 48 hours over an open flame. This deeply restorative practice is identical to how ancient Celtic tribes brewed medicinal broths for their warriors. Executing this long boil method outside in a modern, suburban, or urban environment triggers immediate nuisance odor complaints. It quickly brings visits from municipal health inspectors and code enforcement officers who view the smells of ancient survival as a public disturbance. Number 9. Unlicensed desert desalination. Extracting moisture from barrel cacti and harnessing evaporation from sun-bleached stones kept lost cavalry scouts alive in the deadliest stretches of the American Southwest. This echoes the ancient Bedouin mastery of the desert environment. However, drawing water from restricted public lands, harvesting protected flora, or altering a natural trickle spring without a government-issued water right is fiercely prosecuted. The modern state considers the desperate extraction of wild water as the theft of government resources. Number 8. Keeping roosters in city limits. The piercing crow of the rooster was the alarm clock of the frontier, a vital, undeniable component of the agricultural dawn since the days of ancient Rome. Without the rooster, the flock perishes and food production ceases. Yet modern zoning laws have systematically banished roosters from city limits and sprawling suburbs entirely through strict noise ordinances. By outlawing the natural reproductive cycle of poultry, the law effectively severs humanity's last remaining connection to independent neighborhood food production. Number 7. Selling eggs from the porch. Countless frontier homesteads were financially anchored by women trading baskets of fresh, unwashed eggs directly to passing travelers. This unregulated face-to-face commerce perfectly mimics the autonomous, bustling marketplace of the ancient Athenian agora. Today, placing a sign on a road to sell unwashed, ungraded eggs without a municipal permit, a commercial washing facility, and constant regulatory oversight is classified as an illegal food distribution operation, subject to swift shutdown. Number 6. Unpasteurized apple cider. To survive the brutal winters without fresh citrus, cowboys relied heavily on raw, fermented apple cider vinegar to prevent scurvy and fortify their gut health. The invincible Roman legions drank Posca, a harsh, sour wine, for the exact same protective vitality. Sharing or trading raw, unpasteurized cider today invites massive fines and seizures. Modern agricultural agencies mandate that all commercial juices be heavily pasteurized, a process that intentionally boils away the ancient, life-saving, beneficial enzymes. Number 5. Plucking pigeons and nuisance animals. When the cattle herds thinned and winter set in, cowboys readily consumed jackrabbits, prairie hens, and wild fowl. The ancient Romans understood this efficiency perfectly, raising doves and pigeons in massive urban cotes for daily, sustainable protein. Today, the landscape is teeming with edible nuisance animals, yet harvesting urban wildlife for survival food violates city firearm discharge ordinances, trapping bans, and complex wildlife protection acts. The modern citizen is legally required to starve amidst an abundance of ancient protein. Number 4. Selling bear sign and homemade lard. Trail cooks fortified exhausted men with bear sign, heavy donuts fried entirely in raw animal fat. This perfectly mirrors the dense winter caloric loading utilized by ancient Germanic tribes to survive the freezing darkness of Northern Europe. Selling such pure, trans-fat-free, lard-based foods today without a commercial kitchen permit violates endless cottage food laws. The modern health apparatus strongly favors synthetic, shelf-stable, chemically extracted seed oils over the ancient, sustaining fats of the frontier. Number 3. Defying the free lunch trap. Ruthless frontier saloons lured desperate men in with aggressively salted free meat, intentionally inducing a raging thirst to force the purchase of expensive alcohol. This dark psychological commerce mirrors the ruthless tavern economics of ancient Pompeii. Attempting to serve wild game, unregulated meats, or uninspected frontier recipes in a modern establishment immediately violates the stringent food sourcing codes of the contemporary restaurant industry. The wild, unregulated tavern has been replaced by the sanitized corporate franchise. Number 2, the overland trout salt cure. Slabs of raw salt pork packed tightly in wooden barrels kept the massive frontier wagon trains moving westward. This heavy salt preservation was the bedrock of ancient seafaring diets, allowing the Phoenicians to navigate the ancient world without starving. Today, packing and distributing meat in raw salt without the use of synthetic nitrates, modern chemical preservatives, and continuous mechanical refrigeration violates every single commercial health code written in the 21st century. Number 1, absolute self-reliance. The ultimate frontier secret, the most dangerous concept to the modern establishment, was complete, unyielding independence from the system. The cowboy, the pioneer, and the ancient Spartan warrior relied on absolutely no one but their own calloused hands and the raw earth beneath their boots. To be fully self-reliant in 2026, to disconnect completely from the digital power grid, to grow, hunt, and forage every single calorie consumed, and to generate independent water and heat, is the ultimate act of modern rebellion. It is a life path that contemporary zoning laws, relentless property taxation, and modern agricultural mandates are specifically designed to make absolutely impossible. The system thrives on dependence. The frontier thrived on freedom. Do not let this ancient primal knowledge be quietly erased by the sterile, modern, algorithmic landscape. Subscribe to join the resistance of the self-reliant. Hit the like button to disrupt the fragile modern conditioning, and forever remember the ingenuity of the untamed frontier. The world is changing rapidly, but the ancient bloodlines of survival still beat beneath the concrete. The untamed world awaits.